Hey everyone, this is Joe. Thanks for coming back for another video. I have to share a stupid mistake I did. When I purchased this motorcycle, I looked it over pretty well, and it looked pretty good. I kept on picking up from the seller that something was wrong, but he wouldn't come right out and tell me what was wrong. So I looked over the bike pretty carefully, but I forgot one spot. On the underneath side of the frame, that right here is the kickstand mounting area. This is a cast aluminum frame, and I figured, well, geez, it's in between the front and rear wheels, and it's right at the bottom of the frame. So my thinking was there probably isn't anything wrong with the bottom of the frame because that's pretty much protected. But boy, was I wrong. When I got the motorcycle home, I went and looked because there wasn't a kickstand on the bike. So I just figured the guy didn't have a kickstand. Well, I was pretty much wrong by that. Got myself into some serious trouble. As you see here, there's two mounting points cast into the frame. And as you see here, this one has been totally rubbed off, and this one right here is split. So I ended up, based on that, I ended up paying a little bit more than I should have for this motorcycle. And I had to order another frame from a local motorcycle dismantler, and that cost a pretty penny. So as you see here, what now I'm going to have to do, the frame, this frame right here is really good shape other than this point here where the kickstand mounts. And as you see, if you look really close, somebody went and slathered all kinds of JB Weld all over this trying to fix this. Well, of course you can't do that, not on something that supports the entire weight of the bike. So I'm going to have to grind all this stuff away. I'm going to have to grind this broken part here and clean up the cruddy broken part of this casting here. And then we're going to have to re-TIG weld and build this area back up. And then we can drill and tap new mounting points for the kickstand. So this turned out to be a rather expensive mistake. So I just wanted to show you this so you can prevent from performing the same mistake that I did. I'm going to try to fix this. I will show in a future video of me trying to fix this. What we're going to do now is I've completely cleaned up the exhaust headers, and we're now going to wipe it down with some acetone, and we're going to paint some ceramic coating on it. I'm going to experiment with VHT. I've used VHT in the past with good results. 2 cans of VHT cost me about $50. What I really wanted to do is Cerakote the exhaust headers. And after looking at the pricing, 2 cans of VHT cost me about $50, and a pint of Cerakote would cost me $70. So this particular exhaust header we're going to try with VHT, and then in the future I'm going to try with the Cerakote. I would again prefer to coat it in Cerakote. It is a 2-part system, and it gives temperature protection up to 1800 degrees. So let me move the camera over to where the exhaust header is. We'll wipe that down with acetone, and then we'll throw a couple of coats of VHT on. So let's get started. Here we have the exhaust headers hanging outside. The other day I wiped down the entire header system with acetone, but I always like to wipe it down with acetone just before I paint it to make sure we don't pick up any dust or dirt or anything. So let's go ahead and wipe this down with some acetone, and then we'll go ahead and start applying the first coats of the VHT. As you can see, I wiped it down the other day. Now I'm wiping it down again, and there's not a heck of a lot of dirt on the rag, so that means we've done a pretty good job. So what I'm going to do is, off camera here, I'm going to wipe down the rest of the header system, and then we'll start spraying the VHT, and I'll show you that. But be careful not to get any overspray on my camera lens. We've taped off the actual butterfly valve threads going into the catalytic converter, and then we taped off another bolt down here, plus up top we taped off some threads because I don't want to get any of the paint on the threads, and then we'll just then that way when the very small pieces of tape, so it's not going to affect the coating of the VHT on the header. So let's start spraying. The instructions call for 3 coats, 2 light coats followed by a medium coat, 10 minutes in between applications, and we're going to, this VHT also requires a cure, a heated cure. And I don't have an oven big enough to fit the headers. I do have an oven out in the garage that I use for coating, drying, and curing. But we're going to actually do the curing when it's on the bike, and there's instructions on the can on how long to run the bike for to properly cure the ceramic coating.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying.
Here we go with the second light coat.
Trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the...
Let's do the final third and last coat.
We are heroes tonight.
Well, looks like we finished the 3 coats with just 1 can of 11-ounce VHT. That's actually pretty good, so I have another can I can save for another job. Thanks, we'll see you next video.